Sarah, welcome to the Daily English Show. Today I recommend a short film called Blood and Chips. It's about a pretty serious topic, racism. And I think it shows a few different kinds of racism. One is just hatred of people of a certain ethnicity. In this case, a Caucasian guy thinks that Caucasian people are better than people with African ancestors, and he calls them monkeys. He says, "No decent white woman would willingly sleep with one of them monkeys." And another kind of racism is thinking that only people of a certain ethnicity should do certain things. He's in a fish and chip shop which is run by an Asian British guy, but he thinks that only Caucasian British people should run fish and chip shops. And so he says, "Fish and fucking chips. This should be a British business." And I think that another kind of racism is assuming that people have certain opinions because they're a certain ethnicity. In this case, the Caucasian guy hates Africans, and he assumes that the other guy also hates Africans because he's Caucasian too, which is ridiculous, of course, but from my experience it's actually quite common and stupid and annoying and uncomfortable. Anyway, I think the film is really well done. A couple of points about some of the language in the film. The guy says, "This neighborhood is going to the dogs, mate." Go to the dogs is an idiom which means to get into a very bad state, and the example here is, "This firm's gone to the dogs since the new management took over." And an interesting thing about the pronunciation, one of the kids says, "shut up." He doesn't pronounce the T, shut up. I think this is quite common in England. Some other examples from this video: battered instead of battered, British instead of British, get-a instead of get-a. Can we get a video? In New Zealand, we don't leave out the T sound like that. Instead, we usually change it to a D sound. So I would usually say, shut up, battered, British, get-a. Can you hear the difference? Okay, I'm going to attempt to say this list of words 3 different ways. Shut up, shut up, shut up, battered, 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 British, British, British. Can we get a video? Can we get a video? Can we get a video? I thought I'd show you some more signs from Acadia University today. We did some tours of the residences when we were there, and I saw lots of signs inside the residences. There were posters for events like a pub crawl, open mic night, games night. There were instructions like this: "Don't forget to turn off the light before you leave." This was on a toilet door. Occupied means someone is using the toilet. Vacant means it's safe to open the door. And this was a sign on a door. This is the kind of situation where you could get in trouble if you can't understand the sign, or if you just didn't bother to read it. Emergency exit only. An alarm will sound when this door is used. Use for any reason other than an emergency will result in a minimum fine of $50 to a maximum penalty of dismissal from residence. Kia ora, in Stick News today, the world's oldest man is celebrating his 114th birthday. Tanabe Tomoji was born on the 18th of September 1895. Today is his 114th birthday. He has 8 children, 25 grandchildren, and 54 great-grandchildren. He says total abstinence from alcohol is the secret to his longevity. The world's oldest person is Edna Parker from Indiana in the United States. She's 115. And that was Stick News for Thursday, the 18th of September. Kia ora. Today's word is dismiss. Dismiss has several meanings. One meaning is order or allow to leave. If a teacher says to a class, class dismissed, they're saying it's okay for the students to leave. So they're allowing or permitting the students to go. In this case, it means that if you open the door, you might get kicked out of the residence. They might order you to leave. What's the difference between can and be able to? Should I say, can you speak French, or are you able to speak French? In what situations would you use able to? But they mean the same thing. They usually mean the same thing. Can you give me an example? They're both correct, but it's more common to say can. If I was asking someone to do something for me, but I didn't want to put too much pressure on them, then I might choose able to. Like, instead of saying, can you finish it by Friday? I would say, are you able to finish it by Friday? Yeah, although it depends on the tone. Can be more like an order, whereas able to is usually a genuine question. So if I was your boss and I said, can you finish this by Friday, please? Then what I mean is, do this by Friday. Whereas if I said, are you able to finish it by Friday? Then I probably want to know, is it possible or not? And maybe if you have too much work on this week, then I'll get someone else to do it. Conforming with generally accepted standards of morality or respectability. A. Assume. B. Dismiss. C. Decent. D. Vacant. E. Willing. Decent. Not objecting to doing something. Willing. Accept as true without proof. Assume. Order or allow to leave. Dismiss. Not being used. Vacant. And that was the Daily English Show. See you tomorrow. Bye.